my gosh, hi. Welcome back. I had a couple podcasts in the past and I'm back. And better than ever. Back and better than ever. Grab your coffee or your tea, your fizz, whatever you're feeling today, and let's get started. Okay. So let's chit-chat a little bit about kind of who I am, what this podcast is going to be, and then we'll get into the topic. Who I am. Hi, my name is Gabrielle. Gabby, either one is fine. And I am 24 years old. I live in Wisconsin, and I'm starting this podcast called Dear Little Daughter because I am expecting my first little daughter in January of 2025. So that's insane and crazy. And yeah, so that's just what this podcast is kind of going to be about. It's going to be about motherhood, the ups, the downs, the ins, outs, personal development as a mother and as just a person. I want to have a purpose while in motherhood. I don't want to, one podcast that I really love is Be That Bitch with Allie Griffith. And she talks all the time about how she was playing on the floor with her daughter, and her daughter goes, "Mommy, what do you like to do?" And she didn't have an answer. You know, she's like, besides playing with Riley, her daughter, she didn't have an answer of anything she liked to do. And I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be that. And I want to have passions, and I want my daughter to see that it is okay to be multifaceted and multi-passionate, and I want that to be something that one day my daughter will see and be like, well, my mom worked out, my mom ran a business, my mom had a podcast, my mom, like all the cool things that I was able to do while raising a daughter. So that's the idea behind starting a podcast and behind growing in my personal development and growing in my being and my relationship with God, my everything, and it's all a part of being a mom, but being a mom is not my only thing. So that's what this podcast is going to be. It's just going to be about my multiple passions, my interests, my hobbies, stuff like that, and then everything I want my little daughter to know one day. So we'll probably have an episode or two dedicated to stuff I wish I would have known when I was younger that I will be teaching my daughter. So that's kind of the gist. So there's that. So welcome aboard. I'm so glad you're here. So let's talk about how my first pregnancy has been. I made a TikTok about this, but I'm going to go into a little bit more depth with you guys. My socials and everything. This is all video too. I will upload this to YouTube. Just under my name, my Gabrielle Jandusa YouTube account. I'm not going to create a separate account for Dear Little Daughter. I'm just going to upload regularly on my regular channel, but all my socials will be in the description. So if you want to watch the TikTok that I'm talking about, all my socials are pretty much just at Gab the Girl Mom, because I just changed my Instagram to that, so that's exciting. But yeah, so let's dive in. So this is my first pregnancy, my first baby, my first everything, and it was not a planned pregnancy, but that does not mean it's unloved or unwanted, I've always wanted to be a mom, except for the last couple years of high school. I was so deep in my mental illness, I didn't know if I could be a mom because I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. That's for another episode, but I didn't see a way that I could ever take care of someone other than myself because I could barely take care of myself when I was 17 and 18. And I've healed exponentially since then, I would hope. I'm now 24, like I said, and I've grown and healed and became so much since I was 17 and 18. And once I hit 19, late 19, early 20, I was like, oh, being a mom is everything I've ever wanted. I was like, oh, being a mom is everything I've ever wanted. And I was with my boyfriend, Matt. We were together not very long when my daughter came into the picture, and he's stepped up to the plate exponentially. I moved in with him. It's been a whole thing. Unplanned does not mean unwanted or unloved. So that's the main takeaway here. We are overjoyed and so phenomenally excited to have a daughter. And it's been the biggest blessing of my entire life. So I found out in April of 2024 that I was pregnant, and I found out by taking a few dye tests, and then I took a digital to see the words yes and pregnant on a stick, because the lines somehow was not enough to convince me. And then obviously I took those before I even missed my period, and then I missed my period, haven't gotten a period since. So obviously, and now we've had multiple ultrasounds, like I know I'm pregnant, but in April it was still kind of a shell shock thing. You know, it was, like I said, not in the planned realm. So but like I said, I told Matt, and he was immediately like, what do you need? How do you feel? What can I do? Stuff like that. And I love Matt. I really, really do. This is a Matt appreciation zone, okay? He's just such an angel, and he's been so helpful and so phenomenal through this whole thing. And me gushing about my boyfriend, okay? But so I found out in April that I was pregnant, and then so I'm now April, May, June, July, August. April, May, June, July, August, September. So I'm now 6 months pregnant. I'm good at the weeks, but I'm bad at knowing how many weeks equals what months. So I'm 24 weeks pregnant this week, and that's crazy. That's insane. But I had a super easy first trimester. Okay. Phenomenally easy. Okay. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. And I had no morning sickness, no headaches, no nausea, nothing. I had nothing to go on besides the fact that I peed on some sticks and they told me I was pregnant. I had no other symptoms. So, other than the fact that my boobs felt really sore right away, and they got really tender and like very unusually tender for like PMS symptoms, and I was like, something's up. That's kind of how I knew. I was like, I don't really get PMS symptoms. So I was like, what the, and, so that was my only symptom, was that my chest was really tender and sore. And then second trimester hit, and week 21 kicked my ass. Okay. Week 21, I went to the ER twice for heart palpitations and not being able to breathe. They were like, do you have COVID? Do you have asthma? And I was like, I have asthma. And they were like, okay. So they tested like my urine, my blood, everything. They tested everything they possibly could. And I was severely, severely iron deficient. So severely anemic. So I ended up on an iron supplement, and then obviously my prenatal and everything, but severely anemic was the issue. And still, I think I have a blood sugar issue, because if it'll be random throughout the day or the week or whatever, I will get so hot, and I will feel the blood drain from my face, and I'm like, I'm going to pass out or I'm going to throw up, and I don't know which one. I will get kind of nauseous, but like I can't tell if I'm just uneasy or if I'm nauseous. I haven't thrown up, but like still, that's an uneasy and gross feeling. And then I was at church this past weekend, and I was like, I'm gonna pass out if I don't sit down. So I sat down, and my mom was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm really hot though. And she was like, okay. So I took my arms out of my sweater, and I was fanning myself, and she gave me a mint. And she was like, this, like, if it's your blood sugar, this will help. And I was like, okay. And the mint, it seemed to help, stuff like that. But that's been week 21 to current, has just been like a weird position of feeling okay. So the second trimester has not been the easiest, and then third trimester, I'm going to be very uncomfortable. I know it. But yeah, I'm due January 6th. So hopefully we have a January baby. I want her here, like right now, like I want my little bestie, but obviously I want her to be full term and fully healthy. but I don't want her birthday to be too close to Christmas. Like January 6th is pretty close. But I do this TikTok filter the other day. The other day, I mean like a couple weeks ago. And it's like the number filter. So it's like, oh, like moms do it and they're like, oh, I'm due the 22nd. Let's see what the filter says, you know? And then the filter would be like, oh, the 15th. And like, oh my God, I'm gonna have my baby the 15th. So it's just like a funny like thing to do. Every time I do that filter, I get 23. If I go into labor on December 23rd, let me tell you how upset I'll be, because I want there to be a little break between Christmas and my daughter's birthday, but what can you do? If she's ready, she's ready. You know what I'm saying? So, either way, that is full term, and I will be so delighted and thrilled to have her in my arms, but that's besides the point. But yes, so my first trimester was super easy. Second trimester has been a little rocky. I've been able to keep food down, water down. My water intake has been great. Like, I've been okay, but first trimester, I was unsure that I was pregnant because of how good I felt. So, until I had my first ultrasound, I was like, I just missed my period. Like, maybe I have PCOS. Like, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if I had like a hormone issue. I was like, maybe I'm not. And then I had my first ultrasound. I was like, oh, that's an infant. So that's a baby in there. So, I had my first ultrasound at 11 weeks, 4 days. I don't remember, 11 weeks something. And then I've had my routine checkups every 4 weeks since then, and everything is going so swimmingly and so smoothly. So that's all we can hope for. So, let's see. I have this pulled up. Okay. This podcast, kind of like I mentioned and like I said, is going to be about motherhood, but also about my other hobbies and passions and stuff like that. So I hope that that's something you're interested in, and I hope you come back next week, because this will go out Friday, September 20th, and then I will be uploading every Friday until further notice. So the goal is to be uploading every Friday until I have my daughter. And then, until I have Millie. Her name is Millie. And until I have Millie, and then I will go on a short leave, probably just to give myself time to heal and recuperate, and then let Millie get accustomed to everything, Earthside. So we will see, about the pod schedule after Millie's born, but for the time being, I will be uploading every single Friday, and episodes go up. The way I schedule them is they go up, like I said, I've had podcasts before, so this is not my first rodeo. So we're going to be scheduling the episodes for 5 a.m. Central Time, so that they're up when you make your commute, when you take your walk, when you do whatever, when you make your coffee. They're up by 5 a.m. Central Time. So that is the plan. So this is kind of all over the place. I promise the episodes will be better structured and they will have a format coming up, but that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little get to know me session, and I can't wait to chit chat with you guys every single week for the next however many weeks that is. Let's see, 24 weeks pregnant. Usually go to 40, so that I can't do math. I literally don't ask me to do math. You didn't ask, but like I'm asking myself to do math, and I can't ever do that to myself again. So I will talk to you guys. Probably I might upload this right away and then upload the real first episode Friday. So this is just a little trailer. This is what we can expect. Just some motherhood ramblings, and I'm so excited. So thank you so much for watching. Cheers, enjoy your drink, and I will talk to you guys very soon.